give us that state of rest, raha, pleasant, comfort, rest. Right now, salah for us is a burden, 5 times a day. We want to get it done and over with quickly as possible. We don't really feel rest because the consciousness isn't there. We're not making farewell prayers. Imagine when you finish that farewell prayer, how you feel. You feel rest. You've done it. It's something which is pleasing to Allah at the highest level you can possibly do it. So this is what we need to bring back into our lives, into our day-to-day lives, so that whatever we do, we try to do it in a way which is the most pleasing to Allah. To do it to the best of our ability in a way which is most pleasing to Allah. This is what we need to take out of Ramadan and apply to the rest of our days. By keeping that fasting going throughout the month, throughout the year, that's reminding us of Ramadan, of our days. By keeping that fasting going throughout the month, throughout the year, that's reminding us of Ramadan and its goals, and making sure that we are on it. This is where we need to be. So when we think of Ramadan, we have to be focused on what Ramadan should have done for us, should have made us, as we abstained from what we're eating and what was coming out of our mouths, that when we're outside of Ramadan, we want to make sure that what we eat is halal. And we have to make sure that what comes out of our mouth is halal. So both in and out. What we're seeing, what we're hearing, that consciousness of Allah is there with us, making, as Allah said, our eyes to see only what He is pleasing to Him. So He becomes our sight. He becomes our hearing. He becomes our taking, receiving, giving, our speaking. Wherever we're going, He becomes our walking. This is what we're supposed to be striving for. And this is what is most important in our lives and makes life worth living. Without that, we are, as Allah described us, like cattle. When He described the disbelievers, He said, Hum kal an'am bal hum adal. They are like cattle. In fact, they're even more misguided. Because as human beings, we have a spirit. We have consciousness. So to have that and be like cattle, this is the worst level of misguidance we can possibly exist in. It isn't just about eating, drinking, procreating, and dying. That's the cattle. Is that what our life has become? Is that all that there is to life? Let us ask ourselves that. Let us realize, work now on taqwa, work now on that consciousness of Allah in all of the various elements of Ramadan that we know are required of us to benefit from Ramadan through, whether it's reading Quran, whether it is istighfar, and we should be making much istighfar now, so that this becomes more ingrained in our day-to-day lives, because we can't get away from istighfar. Prophet Muhammad used to seek forgiveness more than 100 times a day. He who Allah had forgiven his previous sins and his sins to come. And he told us that we should do so. To whatever degree that we can, we should strive to do so. Istighfar. Astaghfirullah. We should incorporate it in our daily prayers. You know, if you think about our daily prayers, what do we actually say in the prayers, the different du'as that we make? One of the key du'as that we make, which a lot of people are unconscious of, is between the two sujood. When we make the first sajda and we sit back up, most people are just sitting back up and going right back down again. But you know, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to say, Rabbi ighfirli, oh Allah, forgive me. Rabbi ighfirli. He used to repeat it in between those two sujoods as we sit up. We glorify him when our head is down. We sit up and we say, oh Allah, forgive me. Forgive me for what I have done today, this week. We seek his forgiveness regularly, every day. If we just even do that in our daily prayers, you add it up. How many times we'll be seeking forgiveness? He taught us that for a reason. We need to apply it. Get that prayer in order. Not sitting up and jumping back down again, as most people do. I've even seen people make 2 prostrations. They go down 1, 2, without even sitting back up again. Amazing. What are they doing? May Allah protect us from that. So, in summary, in terms of what is beyond Ramadan, is applying the benefits that we were supposed to have derived from Ramadan. The essence and most important aspect of it is taqwa. Taqwa in our day-to-day lives. So whatever we do at home in terms of our family, we have to think, what is pleasing to Allah here? We have to be conscious. Allah is watching us. What we say, what we do. When we leave our homes, when we go to our jobs or to university or wherever. What we do there, when we come back home. To bring that back into our lives, if it was there before and we lost it, or to bring it newly into our lives, if we never had it. Ramadan is a way of life. If we're fasting Ramadan as we should be, we never stop fasting. We never stop fasting from what is displeasing to Allah. May Allah keep us firmly in the practice, in righteousness, in only doing what is pleasing to Allah throughout our lives. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the reality of Ramadan, to bless us with taqwa, to taste the halawa of Iman, the sweetness of Iman, us firmly on this path, which is none other than Sirat al-Mustaqim, this great path of those on whom is Allah's blessing and favor, not of those on whom is Allah's anger and those who have gone astray. May Allah keep us on that path. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.